Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? I pray that God is blessing you real good today and that His face is shining upon you. I know you've been listening to this series that I've been teaching about standards. I'm not trying to tell you how to think, how to believe, how to move about this earth. I'm only telling you my instances and how I'm feeling about standards because, truth be told, I have not been in a whole lot of situations where my standards needed to be challenged. Now that's a good and a bad deal. It's good because I ain't ashamed to say I made good decisions. I've never always made the best decision, but I can tell you, I'm finding out that because of my undercurrent standards, I have been able to make better decisions than most. Now, I've been faced with the same thing as everybody else in the world has faced with. And with that, with the information of the world, with my standards, and what I believe or how I want to move about this earth, I have made some conscious decisions to do some things and to not to do a lot of things. And so some people have decided in their life that they are going to do some things that does not benefit them. And maybe they were making decisions thinking, I can beat the odds. And maybe they were thinking, I can overcome any obstacle that this immediate joy is giving to me. I can't say that that's not a good way to think, but what I can say is that I've tried to discern when is an applicable time to say, I think I'm gonna try this, and I'm going to take the circumstances, whatever come, and I am going to challenge myself, and I am going to allow the consequences of my decision to empower me to be a better person. And see, that's just how I think. I didn't know that's how I thought until I needed to know how I thought. And sometimes your standards only come about when you need to know how you feel about a matter. Some of the standards that we have or have had or have lived by have been handed down from our parents, our grandparents, our leaders in the community, our leaders in our synagogues, worship center, or our study group, our professors, yay professors. Okay, our professors, our teachers, counselors, anyone in position or that we thought was in an important position. We picked up some of their standards by default, unintentionally, but we did. And whether you like it or not, you are sometimes created with the environment that you're in, and you pick up the standards that are around you. But there does come a time when your own personal standards will be challenged. Oh my gosh. Yes, they will be challenged. And the only way you can know what your standards are is if you don't like something in your life. Some of us actually avoid challenges so we won't have to know our standards, or we avoid challenges so we won't have to stand up for ourselves. And we avoid challenges because we are no longer responsible for standing up for someone else's need. In this part of talking about standards, I'm going to talk about having a stronger identity and unhealthy standards. Now, oh my gosh. When you know who you are, not just, oh, I know I'm a girl, I know I'm a woman, I know I'm whatever culture I claim myself to be, I know what I am, I'm just being politically correct on this tube. You can know who you are, but then not know who you are because you have yet to be challenged. What has to happen, and the longer that you avoid it, the harder it is to know yourself. You must be challenged by life in order to know your standards. You also have to be challenged by illegal things to know that you will not do illegal things. There are people who do illegal things all day long. That is actually their standard. Whatever their motto is, I can't relate, but whatever their motto is, that is their standard, and that is how they live. I want to encourage you to find your standards, to know who you are, and to know where your strengths are. When you know your strengths, you will have a stronger identity on this earth. I'm not talking about just at your job, just at the store, just at the gas station, just at your local assembly, just at your school, just at the family picnic. It's holiday season, it's the summer. If you're seeing this video during that time of the year, no matter, even if you saw this video in the wintertime, during the holidays, it doesn't matter. You will be challenged, and allow these challenges to come to you so you can do the litmus test. This is how I believe, and these are my standards. Now, I must discuss the unhealthy standards. I can talk about good stuff all day, because I can talk about good stuff all day. But there are some unhealthy standards that we have picked up on, and we've decided that they belong to us. They don't belong to you. You're just jumping on a bandwagon of the majority of people, and you're saying that's my standard too. No, you're trying to fit in. Know the difference between you trying to fit in and you standing alone, and it by default causes you to stand out. I'm not saying you're trying to stand out. All you have to do is know who you are, walk in the fact of who you are, and pursue or move forward based upon what you know you're supposed to do, be, say, or do on this earth. As you participate in that, you will find it will cause you to stand out from among those who are not doing that thing. But if you are actively moving forward in your life, I promise you, because you are actively, not as a group, but you, me, as an individual, actively moving forward, I am going to find myself facing challenges of growth, challenges of opportunity, challenges, period, that will cause my standard pack to come before me. If you do the same thing, your standard pack, no matter whether it's weak or strong, will come before you, and you will have to make hardcore choices based upon your standards. When we talk about unhealthy standards, most standards that we have, not you, you don't have unhealthy standards. I know that, because I don't have unhealthy standards, and I'm gonna tell you about them. And I know you don't. I know you don't. Anyway, let's move on. You don't. Okay, so unhealthy standards are standards that hurt other people in some type of way. Whether the hurt is, and it's intentional. That's just my standard. I just make sure I tell people where they're going wrong. There's a way to do that. It's just my standard. If my stuff not right, I'm gonna say something. There's a way to do that too. It's just my standard. You just can't come up in here and not have your stuff together. I'm gonna make sure you are an example. I have actually seen that. All these things I'm describing, I've actually seen them. And I'm like, really? Are you really outside in America or in any other country being this way? Say it ain't so. And you call that a standard? Where did you learn that from? Who did you get that from? Did you see someone else in your life, or did that happen to you and you think that you've learned from it? And so now you've embraced an unhealthy standard because that's what you know. That's all you know. That's not a standard. That's a preference. And that's what you prefer to do. That is how you prefer to move about on this earth. And that is what you like for whatever reason. It's what you prefer. That's not a standard. Rethink that. If you are hurting someone, you're embarrassing someone, you are putting someone in their place. And especially for the most part, in order for that standard to work, that unhealthy standard to work, it has to be done out loud and in front of other people, so that it can validate the standard that's really not yours. You just need someone else to see you do an act act and the humility you think you're bringing to someone else is the faux standard, meaning the not real standard. That's not a standard. You know what? Sometimes you think you have a standard, and then life keep happening, and it affects someone you love, or it affects something that you love, or it affects something that you wish for someone else. What I mean by that is, let something happen to your partner, your husband, your wife. The standards you thought you had before immediately changes because it affects someone that you care about. It's an intimate connection. You don't understand healthcare until somebody that's close to you gets sick. You cannot understand not being able to get medicine when you cannot afford it, especially if it relates to either you or someone you care about. Now your standards of healthcare has changed. Before then, it didn't matter, because in that pack, you already had a standard of healthcare, but inside of that pack, there is nothing that happened in your life that caused you to even see your standards as it relates to healthcare. Listen, the children, the men, my husband and my men, our boys, we call them young men, they're long out of school. Do you think I think about school policies? No. You know why I don't think about school policies, nor do I care about the standardizing of tests? It's because they don't have any children, and I don't have any emotional connection to it. But I promise you, I bet you, as soon as they have some children, after marriage, hopefully, my feelings gonna be kicking in with the school care system. I'm gonna care what they eating at school. I'm going to start caring how they teach it. I'm going to start caring what books are available. I'm going to start caring. My standards about school in my standard packs, they're inactive right now. Let something happen to your kids. Let somebody step to your kids wrong. Let somebody step to your friend wrong. Let someone do something or harm you or harm someone that you love. The justice system is going to have to change. Let somebody be put in a situation that they did not deserve, nor are they guilty of. You will find that your concern about the justice system will change. Your concern about the court system will change. Your standards will change. And sometimes in our standard pack, we don't know that a shift needs to happen. So we need to embrace challenges, because the more you embrace challenges, the more you're going to be challenged in your standards. We try to avoid them. And I don't want to be challenged no more than you in life, but I embrace challenges. So it's the embracing that I love. I don't mean I like them, and I'm sure that you don't like them either. But every time you are challenged, your standards are magnified, and you get to see where you actually are. Embrace that moment of, ooh, I feel a kind of way right now. That lets you know where your standards are. So I hope that your standards are beginning to be upgraded, and that means challenges are happening in order for your standards to be upgraded. And when you know where you are and who you are and whose you are, you will have a greater identity of who you are, and you will begin to avoid unhealthy standards. Go outside and act accordingly. And y'all go have a good day.